After 6 weeks of targeted striking, the United Auto Workers Union has now reportedly reached deals with all three big automakers. That's according to a Bloomberg report. Now, GM's tentative deal just came through. Ford, Stellantis, and now GM have all agreed to offer workers a 25% wage bump, cost of living adjustments, 3-year wage progressions, and more. Joining us now, we want to bring in David Undercoffler, Autolist Editor-in-Chief. David, it's good to see you here. So breaking earlier this hour, we just got a deal reportedly that the UAW was able to reach with GM. What's your first take just on some of the concessions that the automakers were able to give here in order to reach a deal with the union?
Yeah, good morning, guys. Really not a surprise that they were able to pull together a deal with General Motors. You've got the contours of the deal with Ford and Stellantis, so it was really pretty expected that this would happen pretty soon. And some big gains here for UAW members. You're looking at wage growth, like you said. You're also looking at cost of living adjustments throughout the duration of this contract. That was a big win. You're looking at pension increases, contributions there. And you're also looking at, like you said, wage tiers, getting to the highest tier quicker for new workers. And then also sort of reducing the dependency on temporary workers. That was a big sticking point, too, particularly with Stellantis. UAW felt like they were relying too much on temporary workers. So they sort of worked out that to get temporary workers to full-time status much quicker.
So we had been hearing just in recent weeks, especially from GM, about the losses that these companies were seeing because of the strikes. And so this stops the bleeding there. But what have we seen ultimately from the expenses that are going to be coming forward that perhaps change some of the calculus around how each of the executives at these automakers now need to think about the types of vehicles that they're producing, where they're prioritizing margins and their takes on a per vehicle unit basis, and then additionally the total headcount that they need to make that happen?
Yeah, so like you said, first thing, the automakers were losing a lot of money. I think General Motors said last week, all told, this was about $400 million a week that they were losing. And Ford and Stellantis certainly losing, many hundreds of millions as well. Moving forward, there's significant investments here for the big three. You're going to see primarily it's the future of EVs, right? This is sort of the existential risk to the UAW. As we all know, EVs are simpler to make. They take fewer people to assemble them. So as many gains as UAW was looking to get in this contract in terms of near-term kind of economic, dollars on the table, they were also looking for longer term. Can we make sure that our members have a seat at the table? For the, as EVs become mainstream and they become sort of the primary type of vehicle they're building. So you're seeing things like a big concession with General Motors that they gave the UAW was any joint venture battery plant would fall under the UAW contract. Ford and Stellantis existing plants, that they're already building. There's this big Blue Oval City battery plant in Tennessee that Ford is building that now falls under the UAW contract. So you're seeing pretty big wins in terms of allowing the UAW members to know that yes, they've got concessions in the near term, but as these EVs become mainstream, that they're going to be the ones assembling them, and so that gives you sort of long-term wins for the UAW.
When we talk about some of those long-term wins, obviously Shawn Fain looked at as a winner in all this. When we talk about some of the momentum now that the UAW has, are they going to be looking to target other automakers that aren't currently unionized and try to unionize those workers right now because of this momentum? And who would that be? Yeah, for sure. You're going to see this is the wind at the backs of both Shawn Fain and the UAW. I would absolutely expect that. There's sort of the point here of, yes, this may have raised labor costs for the big three, but there's also the potential opportunity for the UAW to take this. They could go to Tesla, they could go to Toyota, Honda, Hyundai, Kia, brands that have manufacturing footprint in the U.S., but they're non-union shops. And they can take these wins and say, and whether these are plants that they've already tried to unionize and failed, or they haven't even tried at all, they can take these wins to those plants and see what, how the membership or how the employees of those plants feel. I mean, Shawn Fain said during these negotiations that he didn't see the employees of those rival automakers as rivals themselves. He saw them as future members. So I would imagine they're going to feel pretty confident, and you're going to see some big gains. Tesla's another one. I would bet that that's probably at the top of UAW's list to try this again.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at Tesla stock here this morning. It seems like shares are still up by about 0.7%, but perhaps it gives even executives there a look at what if they were able to, or if they were coming in closer relationship at some point with the UAW, what could appeal to and appease perhaps some of the desires there here. David Undercoffler, Autolist Editor-in-Chief. David, also always appreciate the time and insights here.
Thank you, guys.